We're not
I'm
live.
Kimberly Mosby. We're not live.
Do you see? It says something went wrong. Do you see it live?
Here, let me do it on my end. And
Okay.
am I pushing the unveiling
It
shadows?
should just say go live.
Let's see if there's anyone in the
Yeah,
chat.
hold on.
Where the hell did she go? Okay, we'll be right back.
No, see? Now it says live. You would think technical difficulties. I'm telling you. I just don't understand it. Like
Right.
whatsoever.
So now,
Hi everybody.
welcome
Now let's do it
everyone.
again.
I'm Kimberly Mosby, your host, and this is Erica Bailey, your co-host.
Welcome. The Survivor and the Skeptic, live on Tuesdays.
Live on Tuesdays.
Don't you love it? If we
Yes.
could make
Hey, PB and J. Hello, how are you?
Dude, I love the messages we get from people.
I do too.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely love it. I love watching it. I love, yeah.
I look forward to Tuesdays for sure. So
I do. We have
yeah.
some cool people that join us. All right, so we decided that we're going to start with a song in the beginning of every episode. And I don't think I've heard this one. Kimberly sent this one to me. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's take a listen. You got to let me know if you can hear it, okay?
Yeah.
I believe a lot of y'all are going prematurely senile.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We're going to, go back here.
I believe a lot of y'all are going prematurely senile. Cognitive impairment, but y'all fools are stuck in denial. Meanwhile, we kick a freestyle just cause we wild. Rappers in my path trying to divert me like pre-trial. Can y'all please arrest me more politely? Said, can y'all please arrest me more politely? Can I be free? Nah, I'm trapped in society. Hell is other people. Population control is needed. I think the upper class need be deleted. So I bring the heat. Scorched earth policy. Never said I was a good man, just a prodigy. I'm what all MCs wanna be. They wallowing in self-pity because they know they skill level shitty. It's critical that this targeted individual remains ridiculed and locked inside a reticle. Even if you're not inside a petty feud, you could probably let it get to you to do something you probably regret to do. It's critical that this targeted individual remains ridiculed and locked inside a reticle. Even if you're not inside a petty feud, you could probably let it get to you to do something you probably regret to do. My cynicism affects every sentence written. I get to ripping the game, I'm supposed to be babysitting, and they be tripping. That's why I stay dissing on a mission to drop true science. That's what the game's missing. But they all take it so damn personal. If words could hurt you that much, consider becoming a mute. This is what I'm gonna do. Break it down 1, 2. Flip your own gimmick on you for the shit that I produced. It's critical that this targeted individual remains ridiculed and locked inside a reticle. Even if you're not inside a petty feud, you could probably let it get to you to do something you probably regret to do. It's critical that this targeted individual remains ridiculed and locked inside of a reticle. Even if you're not inside a petty feud, you could probably let it get to you to do something you probably regret to do. Peep the guitar work.
Make the guitar work. So that's on my TI playlist. So I have to have, a TI playlist of all these targeted individual songs.
I'm going to have to get the lyrics because I didn't understand like 50% of what he said.
He said, I think the elites need to be deleted.
Ooh. That beat was amazing, though. It's funny that you listen to that because she's like, a rock goddess. Yeah, just so you know.
I do love my rock music. But I also,
rock music.
I also can listen to classical. It depends. Like it has to be like more modern classical, you know,
I
like
sent
Ready
her the
House or
strangest
something like
things.
that.
Hey, Aaron, Andrew
Hey,
liked it. He
yeah.
liked it. Well,
Yeah,
good, good.
there are a lot of singers that have written songs about being TIs. And so I
So we're
urge
just
you,
gonna rock them each week.
yeah, I urge you to go out there and look them up and let's support these people because obviously they knew they were targeted. And so
Mm-hmm.
the way that they are getting it out and expressing themselves to cope with the torture program is through their singing. So I think it's really important for us to support them. So,
Absolutely. And the way you coped is through your book.
mm-hmm.
Like that was your journey for
Yep.
healing.
Yep.
And it first started off as more of a journal, and then it turned into a masterpiece. I'm just gonna say that. Unveiling shadows and
Well,
course of
well,
control. Can you
yeah.
tell I'm the marketer and she's the humble one?
Well, DJ Chris gave it a 10 in his book club. He said he would give it a higher rating, but they only give 1 through 10.
Oh, we are 1,000 on my list. Okay, so we are gonna start with what's happened over the past week. Have you done anything cool to become your free woman? And then we are gonna talk about an article that I found. We're talking about money and
Yeah.
how, like,
So I
it's
went to the
background and control,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So I went to Cameron County Recorder's Office and went into the county to file my paperwork. So they did allow me to input my UCC1 filings to take back the capital letters of my name. I not only filed that electronically, but I went into the county which I live in and had them input it on record there so that I can think of it as you're incorporated right now and you're trying to get unincorporated with the corporation that's torturing you. So you have to file the UCC filings with your local county recorders. They have to input that information. Then they gave me a hard time about doing my deed of reconveyance to secure my property's interest and take it out of being taxed from the county tax district, even though I sent them also certified letters. I send everything certified that needs to go. Then today, in between the live with Dean Henderson and this show, I did my FIOA request, the Freedom of Information, FOIA, sorry, Freedom of Information Act's request. And I downloaded, I purchased a package for $99, which I don't really have $99, but I did it anyway. So this is from that website that I was speaking with you guys about. That's called Help. Let me find it. It is called Help Solutions Tech. So the Help Solutions Tech, I went with theirs because it listed the majority of the addresses in which you need to send your Freedom of Information Act's requests to. The only one it didn't have was like the Salt Lake Police Department, which I had to fill in that information. And then there was one other, the U.S. District Court for the state that you're, the county that you live in, basically. So I am sending those certified letters out tomorrow with a return envelope so I can see that they've entered it into their paperwork. So I'm interested to see what comes back from that.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot of tech information. I absolutely love that you're
Here's my
seeing
letter,
things happen
my
now.
Freedom of Information request.
So what does that
So
mean? What does that mean? Freedom of
This
Information
is
request.
basically the targeting program. So it's pursuant of the Freedom of Information Act. I'm requesting access to any and all records, documents, communications, data reports, memorandas, electronic surveillance logs, information reports, internal investigations, or any other files in your possession or control that mention, reference, or pertain to moi.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, you look like you're happy.
well,
Every week when we talk about this, you seem to be glowing more and more, like you're feeling healthy and good things
yeah,
seem to be happening. Like we're getting your TEDx speech finally. Just so you know, if you haven't followed her for a while, she actually is a TEDx speaker. So we're getting her speech. We'll be putting that up pretty soon.
yeah.
So,
It's on
um,
coercive control.
yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. So again, you're putting together something where you can walk people through this literally step by step if they want to join or if they want to, what's the word I'm looking for?
If they want to come become an American state national citizen and get out of the program,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm going to walk you
Yeah.
through
I
it
meant to
because
put that in like one word.
I've been
Yes.
on several different websites. And the next step, I think, is to get my passport changed to a non-US citizen. But then I also need to go about getting a credentials card, which is like your driver's license, and
Mm-hmm.
license plate tags for my vehicles. So I'm going to start doing the videos in the beginning of where I went and what information was helpful and where I had to ask questions to the people at Americans Are Back, so
Yeah.
that
I've been
you
dropping
don't have
links in
to
here
so you
too.
don't have to waste money and forget to add a copyright um, symbol to the back of your name when you're sending the IRS documents that you're not going to pay taxes anymore. So I'll start doing that next week or the end of this week. I don't have anything going on, so maybe Friday.
Hey, so hold on a second. I spoke with Doug at America's Are Back. He didn't seem knowledgeable about TIs and how his service could really help him. Do you think that if a person's targeting was private and non-government, that becoming American state national would actually help? Do you see that question
Yes, I do.
from
And I do actually think that it helps. And I know that these people probably don't know about the targeting program because they're American state nationals. So they don't get identified as being targets because they already removed their DNA from the database. And in order to mess with you, they have to have the rights to your DNA. And they stole those from you the moment you were birthed into life. You'll have 2 dates on your birth certificate if you look at it. And everybody's letters there are stated in capital letters, including yours.
Yeah.
And the day that they took control and incorporated me was October 19th. I was born October 18th, but in order to incorporate me, it had to be a day after my birth. So,
And
and then
the
that's how.
incorporation is because it's all in capital letters. Like that's why it's in quote unquote incorporated.
Yes, yes, that's correct. And so in the documents that I I received there, when you file those with the land recorder's office in Anchorage, by the way, don't try to do it in any other county. They won't accept it, even
Yeah,
though
that's what you
that's
said.
a violation of the 14th Amendment and of our constitutional rights. So I would, and then that's when they were recorded when my targeting became less, was after I took back my DNA and then filed those UCC one filings online while I was waiting for that paperwork to be recorded. So I do think that it is because they have to have your DNA in order to torture you. I hope I answered your
Do
question.
do do they though? Do they have to have your DNA to do it? Like why there's other ways to do it without
Well, there is other ways to do it, but this
having your own
technology
file.
is so precise that they use your DNA. like Rich says, my
Oh,
friend Rich
what
in
and what Amy
Australia. He
was
said
saying.
they've got to get it into you somehow. A jab is their preference. Then they've got to have your DNA, and then they have to have an asshole who puts you on the list. Those are like the three main, you know, categories. And I'm sure there are plenty of other subcategories that could go under that list.
What is there like an online form? Like I'm gonna fill out an online form to put you on the list. Like how do you put somebody on the list?
Call your local fusion
Sorry, this
center.
is kind of a rude attitude, but I wasn't trying to be like, anyway,
So,
local
so
fusion centers.
yeah, call your local fusion center. There's one in every state with the database
How do you
system, So when I was younger, my biological father worked in a data processing center. I don't know if I've shared this information or not, but they used to like take us into work. Like he would take us into work every day, where my sister and I, when I think about it, were being observed. And in the background in this data processing center were huge data processing machines. And this was in the hospital, St. Pete's Hospital in Helena, Montana. And I'm not talking about the punch card ones with paper. I'm talking about the huge floor to ceiling computer IBM units with the big wheels. Now imagine that Helena, Montana only has a population of that time in 1971 of under 35,000 people. And then ask yourself another question: why would they need those huge servers in that small of a hospital to process that kind of data?
So, how old were you?
I was like 4.
Okay.
I was very
There's
little.
Is it possible? Is it devil's advocate here? Is it possible when you're 4 and you see something, it looks a lot bigger to you than when you're an adult? Is it possible that these things really are
No,
just
no,
no?
because it wasn't just 1 year when I was 4 that he took me there, because we spent all summer with him. So it
Okay.
was at least from 4 to 8 years of age. And I think
And
that
what
is
did you do? Wait.
drank coffee and sat there and colored and, you know, was
You drink
observed. I have
coffee?
no idea. I don't remember. I only remember drinking coffee, them having like a window there, and then the large servers. So if anybody has any
like
information on
in the
those IBM,
movies where they're studying kids and it's like white rooms and they're sitting there coloring and playing with their blocks and there's a window and you can see like that's just real. Like
yeah,
interesting. I remember
yep.
you saying something about this when you were in that hotel or the extended stay, your temporary housing.
Oh,
You
when you came
briefly
to
mentioned
stay the
this, but
night, yeah, yeah,
yeah, I remember you briefly mentioning this. It
yeah.
that's just wow. Okay. So you think that you've been observed since you were 4?
Oh, absolutely. Or maybe since I was born. I think it's the Monarch Project, Operation Paperclip, whatever you want to call it. Satan.
I don't know what that means. Monarch Project. Hold on. Target here.
They steal your hair, blood, urine, everything. Yes, PB&J, they do.
Targeted. Yeah, we will. I'll look it up and see. You should have gotten an email with a calendar link to schedule. But I haven't been in my email all day, so I help her with scheduling. So we'll get you on the show, no problem. They
Yes,
steal your hair. Well,
I want
yeah. I mean, don't
everybody.
they test everything? I mean, don't they take babies and like right after? Well, I've had 3 of them. I should know this. They take the babies and they do the pokies and the tests and all that
And
stuff.
yeah,
Like, is
so
they
that they can
start
incorporate
there?
them into their debt slave system, so they can be indebted slaves, indebted servants of this. So while we're talking about bloodlines, let's bring up that article.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
of the
Absolutely.
five families. Because I
Yeah.
thought this was
Okay.
interesting. I read it
So
this morning.
I'm gonna share my screen. All right. Which families have been ruling the world for centuries?
Go back up to the where you got the article from. I haven't ever heard of this Sarajevo Times, but
Me
it's
neither.
worth
I don't know
worth
how accurate it is.
it's worth looking at.
All right. They live, we sleep, says the famous quote from the movie They Live by John Carpenter. This is one of my favorite movies of all conspiracy theorists. You know what? We need to somebody needs to look this up. I want to know, you know, how credible this person is. Is anybody able to do that while I'm reading this? Um,
Let me see the person's
there
name
are
again.
also
Go back up so we can see it. Who wrote it?
here, I'm gonna drop it in the chat too.
Yeah, do that.
Hold on. That way people can read along. But I'm just going to kind of read what I felt was the important part.
Okay.
Important part. It's all important. But
Right.
there are stories that not more than 200 families rule Bosnia. I'm not even going to try and say that one. Croatia and
Herzegovina.
Serbia. All right. In the USA though, the number reduced to 5. They are most powerful, the wealthiest, and the scapegoats for all theories of conspiracy theorists. And they are those who tailor the global policy. So, Rothschild dynasty. Rothschild family is considered the wealthiest family in the world. What did they do? I don't know. Um, they weigh $500 billion. What in the holy F does somebody need $500 billion while there are children dying of cancer or starving on US soil?
Yep.
Sorry.
I'm in
Um,
agreement with you.
some estimates claim that they manage with 100 trillions of financial power. I'm gonna throw up. Sorry.
Yep.
In the 60s of the 18th century, Mayor Rothschild sent 5 of his sons to financial centers so that they could be on all most important places of world finances. Okay, so basically, they strengthened their global power by financially aiding the main and most powerful monarchies and authorities on all conflicting sides. Now, conspiracy theorists claim that the Rothschild family controls the world through the U.S. Here we go. What does that say, Kimberly?
Yep. This U.S. Central Bank Federal Reserve, the Fed.
Mm.
Yep.
Um, theories say that Paul Warburg is actually an agent of the Rothschild family. Okay. Hold on. I want to see. You'll have to open up chat. Can you while I'm reading this, will you manage the chat? Can you do that?
Aaron Andrews, yes, says, let's see, show on stream. There's
Just
actually
yeah,
13 of
drop it
them.
up. There's that. Hey, somebody else said didn't Dean say that there was 13? Um excuse me. I'm so sorry, guys. Rockefeller. Okay. John D. Rockefeller founded the Stanford Oil Company. We all know that's the biggest oil company in the world at the time. He was worth more than 400 billion USD. And this is in the 70s, 19th century. Already then, he was one of the wealthiest men in the world. And Theodore Roosevelt warned Rockefeller that he is creating an invisible authority. What do I meant by that? Rockefellers helped the construction of the UN, and they found Bilderberg, where most powerful people of the world meet once a year.
Okay,
They
so
founded.
stop right there for just a second.
What's that?
Because the Bilderberg group doesn't get a lot of publicity, and they were just in session the 12th through the 15th of June. So just this last weekend. So
Wait, say
they
that again. I got distracted.
okay. So the Bilderberg Group is a group that is not highly publicized, and there's a reason for that because
Yeah.
they like their hidden little, club meetings, and we're not in it. So the Bilderberg meeting this year was the 12th through the 15th of June, which was this last weekend. Yeah. And they're
Okay.
supposedly going to determine
So
our
what are
fates.
they? What is Bilderberg? What
Well, I'm going to
it's
tell
just a
you,
group of really powerful people?
yeah, and I'm going to say that Peter Thiel, or Thiel, however you want to pronounce it, was there. And he is with Palantir, which is the company that the government wants to
Selling
put
the
all.
data to.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
At this big meeting, this big secret meeting.
Yep.
They act in secret through oil companies such as ExxonMobil, BP, and banks such as Chase Manhattan Bank. The Morgan family, again, $400 billion. We have a healthcare crisis. We are okay. Um, what the hell does one family need that much money for?
They don't.
The Morgan family, they were friends of the Rockefellers. John Pierpont Morgan borrowed 100 tons of gold to the U.S. authorities during the bank crisis in 1893. So this John Morgan guy basically loaned the bank 100 tons of gold in
Yep.
1893, right? Okay. How they came to control the gold in the USA, started financing companies, AT&T, General Electrics, and others, and also financed Nikola Tesla's research. I don't know. I think the man was crazy brilliant. Morgans were always friends with the U.S. Ministry of Finance. And many people claim, precisely Morgans were those who forced the USA to participate in the First World War to protect the loans they gave to Russia and France earlier. So this family who's loaning money to the USA and Russia and France, they're the cause of the First World War. Like one family, one can do that.
Yeah, that's not the only war they started because wars are for profit. They're not for people.
No, they're not. Um, Paul or P. Morgan Jr. borrowed 500 million USD to the USA, and he took 1% of provision for everything that his companies sold to the US Army. So basically, this guy had military contracts and made money off of them while
Yep.
loaning money to the government and getting a percentage off that too.
Yep.
Okay, God, it kind of sounds familiar, like it's happening all over again. Um, Conspiracy theorists believe that Morgans prompted the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor by promising the division of profit. Today, the Morgans still own the biggest family reserve of gold and allegedly is connected by a tunnel with the New York branch of the U.S. Central Bank. Okay. You want to read for a little bit?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. This is bothering me. I'm like actually quite upset about this.
Yep. So you said two
Du-
DuPonts?
yeah, DuPont is where we are.
I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
Just say DuPont.
He was
He was the
son
son
of
of
a
a French
French
immigrant.
immigrant. Yeah, he gained his wealth after founding a gunpowder factory in Delaware. His family grew roots in the U.S. high politics after they allegedly endured the U.S. purchase of the territory of Louisiana from Napoleon in 1803. By the beginning of the First World War, the company DuPont produced 40% of the world's explosives, and during the Second World War, they participated in the project of construction of the American nuclear bomb. Some believe that the DuPont family influenced the U.S. authorities to such extent that they were the only reason why the use of marijuana and production of industrial hemp were banned, all with the aim of protecting the production of nylon, one of the most important products of the DuPont company. Now, let me tell you something about hemp. They ripped out all of these hemp fields. And hemp, they would make rope out of. You could also make
Mm-hmm.
clothing out of hemp. They didn't need to basically put their material, which is not good for you, by the way, in the fabrics that some of what DuPont makes, i.e., Teflon, right? And poison
Mm-hmm.
the lands around it. Like I saw this guy do a huge lawsuit around the chemicals that were being polluted into the streams and these poor animals. It was just disgusting. But the reason that they also pulled out the hemp plants is because the hemp plants can actually get rid of the chemicals in the chemtrails that they're spraying on us, all of the hardened aluminum. They are extremely healthy for farming. So, and like I said, they can make a lot of things with hemp. So,
We gotta talk to. I have a one of my clients has cannabis stores here. The guy is freaking brilliant when it comes to this. He can explain
yeah,
all of it and the political side and the money side. And
yeah.
anyway, he's freaking
So
brilliant.
so guess what they're doing today? Today, this company is one of the biggest world producers of the GMO seeds, and they are the founders of the Doomsday Treasury, where samples of all the plants are preserved so that the mankind could plant them again after the apocalypse. Okay, so then we got number one, the Bush family. The Bush family is a political dynasty that gave two presidents to the U.S. It all started with Prescott Sheldon Bush in 1895. He became a member of the Yale group, Skull and Bones. We all know what that is. And allegedly, this Bush was behind the failed military coup in 1933, which was aimed at taking power away from Franklin Roosevelt. During the Second World War, Bush was the head of the Union Banking Corporation, the bank which was eventually impounded due to proven business connections with the Nazis. Prescott's son, George W. Bush, became the president of the U.S. during the 80s of the last century, and his grandson, George W. Bush, Little Bush, was two-term U.S. president. They both launched conflicts with Iraq, in which companies such as Halliburton or KBR, which are linked to the Bush family, generated enormous profit. The Bush family is considered the most powerful family in the U.S. politics, and they also have exorbitant amounts of money in banking and oil sectors. Thanks for finding the article.
Is pretty interesting.
Yeah, look at
So,
tagged. Look at the tags. Family, important, politics, world. Yeah, I would say.
so what do you guys think? Like, again, this is what makes me sick, and it's not just. I mean, if you look at it's not just these families.
Oh,
You know
here,
what I mean? Like
bloodlines
I'm
of the
learning, like
Illuminati: Astor, Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Onassis, Rockefeller, Rothschilds. Yep. Thank you for that, Aaron, Andrew.
that is insane. And it all starts where? Like, I mean, this Dean
Yeah,
says this all starts from like
the Anunnaki.
thousands of yeah,
Yeah, the,
Anunnaki.
the Anunnaki,
Uh,
which is very very closely worded to the Ashkenaki Jews. Okay, so hemp lasts forever. It's all natural. That's why they took it out.
mm,
Yes, that's exactly right.
mhm.
Because it's very beneficial
Mhm.
to Earth. Amazing
Beneficial
book
to
to read
everything.
on average. Joe, thank you for being here. To read about hemp, cannabis,
Yeah.
the Emperor Wears No Clothes by Jack Harrer. Okay, I'll look at
The
that
Emperor
one.
wears no clothes. Yeah. I've heard of that
Mm-hmm.
actually. I've heard of that. So, can somebody explain to me why one family needs that much money, or one person needs Elon Musk money, or like
Yeah, exactly. Elon
what?
Musk is part of it too, because they want power. And with
But
money comes power and control. They want to
it
control
just
us
sits
all.
there.
I know.
It just sits there.
Well,
Uh,
they're paying some
It's just
people, just the wrong people.
okay. So what do they? I mean, what do they do with it? They buy
Okay.
whatever they want and hire
Andrew,
whoever they want to
Aaron
do
Andrew
whatever they want.
says, I have a whole chart. Yes.
Here, I just put her email in there.
Thank you.
I have a whole chart of the families. If you can email it to her, we can pull it up. Like if you could do it fast. It's not a Neve, it's a dive for power and
Power and
control.
control. That's right. Let
But
me look at my mail.
okay, power and control. That's all run by money. Like it just doesn't. I just can't wrap my head around this.
Yeah,
I
because that's
really,
more money than
really can't.
anybody, any one of us could even freaking fathom, you know?
Skull and Bones, isn't that like something to do with a school or a college or
Yeah,
like a
yell.
is it Yale?
Yep.
Basically, it's like, and the Bush family was like, here, I want to look that up. I actually watched
Yeah,
something
but
about
they're all
that.
linked to the Freemasons.
And so all of these different like branches, I'm going to say, kind of all go back into the Freemasons.
Yeah. Yeah, the Freemasons. You can look at Bohemian Grove where they do like the human sacrifice. It's all satanic.
Oh, you did it. You did
Yeah.
a podcast about that because I remember the picture. Was that the one you
Mhm.
did about the Illuminati?
Yes. Yeah.
And there was a picture of, yeah, we put that in. That was pretty
Of the
interesting.
owl, the 70-foot owl.
Yeah, it was, but it was like some forest or
In
and
California. Yeah.
Clinton was there in the
Yep.
picture or
All of
something.
them. All of them.
Yeah.
It's just one big boys club and we ain't in it. Did
Aaron,
you?
it's just info at unveilingshadows.com. But yeah, I put that in there. I'll drop it in again. Um, we're helping. Aw, look at that. Love and light, man.
Aw.
It's all about world domination.
Hey, hey.
Pinky in the Brain. Oh my God, that's actually a
I got
brilliant
3 cats.
comparison. Hi,
I
baby
love you.
kitty.
Now
One
go
is a
away.
psychopath and one just goes along with the plan. Now I've got the
Yes.
stupid Pinky in the Brain song in my head. Thanks, Joe.
Yep. One is a psychopath.
Unhinged
Yes,
Joe.
exactly.
Pinky in the Brain. I'm gonna have to listen to it now to get out of my head. That's insane. Can you post? Okay, Skull and Bones is Bush Senior and Junior.
Let me check
There
my
is
email.
another division of Freemasonry. A lot of it ties together in different branches. It's almost like a military, really.
It
I'm
is.
gonna look up a picture.
I don't see anything in my
And
inbox.
so it's just kind of like, what was it, like the royal families or whatever. If you go back into, you know,
Well, obviously the
like
crown.
England and the royal families, or the crown, and then they
Yeah.
had all of the dukes, and so it's kind of this. It's the same thing, just branded
Yep.
differently, right?
Yep. But they're part of
Symbolic.
this whole thing too in the 13 bloodlines. Yeah, Bush. Yeah, Skull and Bones here. This is what yes, it's both of them. I think it's all of them. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the presidents so far not that we've had so far not mentioned as being part of that club. But they like to hide, so they like to change their names too.
Well, yeah, aren't they supposed to be? Well, I think like there were videos of some of these like presidents that were proudly waving the flag that they were part of the Skull and Bones.
Yeah, and part of
Do
the
any
Freemasons.
either or any of you believe that a lead blanket would assist in shielding for nighttime bedtime torture?
Dell,
You know,
yeah,
Amy kind of talked about that on our Q&A,
yeah,
didn't she?
yeah,
There was this girl who she was sleepwalking, like just in the middle of her day where she was out with friends and doesn't remember 3 hours and wasn't on anything, or she felt like she was sleepwalking through life.
yep.
Like, and
So
it
kind of like I
started at
missed. Yeah,
nighttime.
yeah.
Lead
Remember when I
blankets?
told you
Oh,
I missed 3 hours when they took me off to the Salt Lake County Jail? And I was like, they picked
yeah,
me up at
you
this
did.
time. It's a 10-minute drive from where they picked me up when I pulled the power breaker. By the time they booked me, because there were only 3 of us in the waiting room when I got there, it was 3 hours later. So they either chipped me, and I mean, added a foreign body of something to me, or did something else. So
Hey, Kemp. Not that I wasn't listening. Sorry, I just saw the name.
there's just another.
You did tell me that. Thank you.
A lot of it together,
Um,
different branches.
did
Yes,
you
yes,
get
yes.
that email?
Let
Did
me
you
look
send
for it.
that,
I don't see it. I might have
Andrew?
to
Yeah,
refresh
Andrew.
my
Hmm.
mailbox here.
So lead blankets. I don't know. Like, first off, that sounds like it would be a horrible experience to sleep under a lead blanket.
Yeah. They have these netting, these silver nettings that you can hang over your bed. They kind of look like uh, a canopy or whatever. And I've heard a lot of people speak about those because silver should block some of that.
What about those copper ringy things that you have? That you,
Well, that,
oh, I cannot believe you got up on that patio, on that railing to hang those things. I cannot believe you did that. That was so way high up in the sky. You're just freaking insane.
well,
Yeah,
copper
they're
is a
very, very
is a
heavy.
shielding and a grounder. So I'm planning on making these things that are called a sucker punch, and it should
Did you talk about this?
a
The
sucker punch.
Yeah, I think
So
you talked
they're
about this,
they're
didn't
with
you?
tensor rings, and then you wrap cable around it, and then you put a large crystal in the middle of it.
Yes.
And apparently, it'll give you EMF protection for up to a 2 mile radius. So I have the tensor rings on the way. I purchased the wire, the gauge wire, the 20, I think, gauge wire, 25 gauge wire. And then I need to go pick up some crystals at a local crystal shop. Once I have the rings, so I can see what size they are, because you have to kind of push it in there. So I'm going to make one of those. I'll film it, and I'll let you know if it works. And that's natural shielding. I've also seen people put tensor rings on that I saw on Etsy over their smart meter,
I don't
like
know what that
around the
means.
circle.
What's that
Um,
machine that you have that puts off the
the Organite,
you you
the
had it
Organite
in your
Orgon. Yeah, it's an Orgon machine, an Organite
what
machine. Yeah.
what is that?
And so it gives off the frequency, the Schumann resonance frequency of 7.38, but it can also go up to those hertzes that Brandon Iglesias was talking about, because the brain functions off of about 30 to 40 hertz, I think. And so you can put that machine up to 100 hertz. And so some of these low level hertz are what is causing like people's brain to deteriorate.
Hmm. I'm
Okay.
trying to look for see if I can find an article or something that well, article or a
Can you go
diagram
that
about the
way?
13 families.
I've got cats. Can you just go away? Would you like to come up here and lay down? That's a flying cat. I'm sorry.
I'm
It's just
glad
gonna
my dogs are upstairs. Most powerful
now lay down. Top
families. I
seat.
wonder if did you Oregon. Oh, this is Oregon generator. How do I stop them from radiating? Oh, I am not putting that up on the screen. World pyramid hierarchy picture. Oh, Google. All
Well,
right,
because
I'm gonna look for it. Thank you.
I think that's the sucker punch and with the tensor ring that I'm going to do will stop that too. It should protect you from all of that for a 2-mile radius. But I think on Etsy they have the tensor rings that you can put around your smart meter because that's part of it. And then what that would do, it would ground it. Right? Let me see if I can find a tensor ring so I can show you what it looks like on Etsy.
I'm looking up trying to find this picture that world hierarchy pyramid.
Let me see if I can mail it to myself because for some reason
It keeps trying to give me Maslow's hierarchy. Oh. And then when I try to open it on certain things, it won't let me. I really am interested in this family thing. Like when I was reading that, I just still don't understand why anybody needs that much money. Like
yeah.
how like it just doesn't make sense to me. I get living a life, but I don't know. Oh my gosh.
Because they're greedy.
Huge.
And that's what it's about for them. That's why he was saying that. Dean Henderson was. It's not about that. It's a spiritual war. And most targeted individuals' vibration is higher than others. So that's why we're like
Special.
well, yeah, you could call us that.
You are special. You are special.
let me see if I can bring this up.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to share Andrew, I'm going to share my screen while she's looking at that. And is this the image that you're talking about? Where did it go? Here you go. Is this what you're talking about?
Wait, hold on a second. Are you talking to me?
No. Well, is it Aaron Andrew? It's hard to see.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. That's clear too. I haven't seen one that's that clear where you can read all of that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
even go in if
Yeah.
this is.
Oh, that's perfect.
So what is this saying? This is the Vatican. Okay, what is this graphic telling me?
How
Like
the world is ruled.
hierarchy or
Yeah.
of power.
Yeah.
So
And
like
guess-
lower and the top, like this
Yep.
is the top in power, right? Okay. All right.
But
Let's
think
see
about
what
it
we
this
can see.
way. If one brick is removed from the bottom of that pyramid, guess what happens? It's going to come falling down. We just need to figure out how to get that one of those bricks in the corner of this pyramid to fall. And then everything else will come by snowball effect.
Oh, this is what Dean was talking about.
That's correct. Here's Satan right here.
Right here.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you.
Pharaoh. Yeah, I'll get this to you.
Yeah.
Jesuit
World
order.
Pyramid
Church of Scientology. Yeah, they're nuts. Bloodlines of the Illuminati.
This is the best one I've seen. Thank you, Aaron Andrew. This is awesome.
Huh.
Okay, let me show you these tensor rings. Can I share?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm geeking out on this because I don't understand. Okay. Yeah. Let me stop sharing.
I want to dissect that. It's going to be great.
I'm sending it to you right now so I don't forget.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. See these So measure meter, smart meter tensor ring.
What
This
is that? Your
your
electric
smart
meter? What
meter,
is the?
your smart meter, because anything smart, remember?
Oh yeah, huh?
Yep, is part of it. So this is what you need to put on there. So if they touch my property after becoming an American state national citizen, they can be fined. I can fine these people. So I'm going to leave this up. So I've just put in a tensor ring for smart meter, and I would go with about this many. But if they trespass against my property, I think it's a $500,000 fine or something ridiculous.
I mean, you still have to pay for your electricity and your internet and stuff like that, right? Like,
Well, yeah, but I don't have to live in a slow kill box either.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
You know, like
Oh my god, I all of a sudden just got really cold. Can you see me? I'm like literally shivering.
so
Okay.
basically,
It's like a balance of good and evil.
yeah. So basically, it's a slow kill operation. That's why Brandon Iglesias talks about all the smart stuff: your smart meter, your smartphone, your smart watch. Don't drink the smart water. Probably is chock full of nanoparticulates and nano dust, whatever. Maybe parasites. Who knows what they're feeding us? But we shouldn't have to pay for all this. We shouldn't have to pay for bottled water. It should be clean. Should be fluoride free, clean water for free. Energy should be clean and for free. And, you know, and we should stop being slaves to the system and be smart about it.
Go back to like a trade life, like where you're
That's
trading services rather than trading
yes.
money.
Yes. But
People
we're
think
owed
that you
money. We're owed money. I guarantee you we are. So I guess the International Trade Bank is going to be opening up in October so that we can start receiving that $5,000 a month in funds. And so I would suggest to you TIs that can afford it or scrape together that $230 to get your Americans Are Back paperwork done so you can get it notarized and you can get 2 witness testimonies. That's what took me the longest time, and it only delayed me by a week. I was recorded at the land recorder's office within 30 days of starting this transition. So then after, while you're waiting, you can open up your account at the 528 Global Banking. And the 528 Hertz is obviously the love Hertz. And so, yeah, so I'm excited to see what this is going to do. Because when I did speak to the woman at Americans Are Back, the currency that we're going to is an American Federation dollar and not fiat currency. It's not the United States corporation dollar bill. It's a American Federation dollar that is backed by gold, that is legitimately backed by gold, which is one of the reasons why they offed RFK, because he wanted to give money. He wanted to do the gold backed notes, and they didn't like that idea.
US dollar, how do you our businesses gonna take it?
It'll have more value than the monopoly money we're passing around now, which is called blood money. So you guys should watch that series. So the first series I recommend is something is wrong when. The second series I suggest you watch is Blood Money. And then it will give you a bigger picture of how they enslaved us the day after our birth. I'd like you guys to go look at your birth certificates if you have them and see if there are two dates on your birth certificate as well.
I'm gonna totally actually go look that up. I might
Yeah.
have it on my phone.
And you can look at your social security card too. You might as well refer to that as a slave number. You are this slave. You know, if you have
Yeah,
5-1.
it's all in capitals on your social security card. Like, but
Yeah.
every letter is like, even in just this number has been established for. Oh, I'm looking for a
Yep.
birth certificate. What about your driver's license? Your driver's
There was a
license.
package for
It's in all
580, but I
capitals.
don't see the one for I think it was for 230. Maybe they don't have it anymore. But someone else said Americans Rock or Americans State Nationals Rock or something. It was like someone put it on a comment on YouTube that there are several different places that you can go. I did do the package with Select Service, but it took me 30 days to even get those docs. And I didn't even, they won't let you ask for a refund. And that's why I went with the Select Service. I'm sorry, the Americans Are Back, because that was just like instantaneous. Let me see if I can find this other one. Let me go to my YouTube.
So I'm looking at a certificate of birth, and I'm not going to give any names or numbers, but
Okay.
there's a date of birth date on here.
Yep.
There is a date of birth of the mother. There is a date record filed. All three are different.
Okay.
The
That's
date record
interesting.
filed is 5 days after the date of birth. So this was filed 5 days after the date of birth, but then there's a date issued, which is 6 months later. So there's
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4 different dates on this. But the name,
Yeah.
it's not capital.
Really?
It's just the beginning of each name, the first letter of each name that's capital, but it's not fully capital here in their certificate. But there are multiple dates on here.
Okay, but
Now I gotta
how?
see if I can find another one.
Yes, because if that is of a younger child, they may have figured out that we know what is going on. And so, you know,
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna totally. I'll get back to you on. I'll go look mine up. I know I have mine in my safe,
yep.
because I'm that older letter to.
Welcome.
Let me look.
So let me see if I can find this other one so that I can give you guys some other context. It might not be under this one. It may be under this one, I think.
Interesting.
Nope, that's not under that one. State Nationals Rock is also helping individuals with becoming state nationals. So I'm going to put this in the chat. State Nationals Rock. Oh, I did save this website too, but let me put this in the chat.
Oh, Kemp, poor guy. Now I'm looking at another birth certificate that is, 24 years old, basically. Name is in all caps, different state. And there's a date of birth, a time of birth, a mother's date of birth, a date registered, and date issued. And they're all different dates. Again, the registered is about 5 days after the date of birth. But this one is in all caps, but it's a different state.
Yep.
Interesting.
Right. So
Interesting. Mine has two. The date I was born and 3 days later. Yeah, it's the registered date, probably. Right?
yeah. Yep. I'm just saying the
Wow. All
system
right.
is, yeah, the system needs to go bye bye. And that's the only way we're going to do it is by removing ourselves from their corporation. It's just a circus anyway. Who wanted to vote?
So
Like,
how do humans like keep how do we keep order, I guess, if there is no law? I don't know if I'm saying that properly or
okay, so self-governing is
thank you.
better than having the government tell you what to do and police you, because 75% of people are good, maybe even more than that. So there's Ulapa is one of the only places that I know that is self-governing in Mexico. I did my Wolf Moon retreat when I finished writing my book down there. So that's why I gave those my little gratitude to those women there. But that it was so peaceful there. Like literally, they self-govern themselves. They don't need anybody's help to become, good citizens. They help each other out, basically, which is what we've gotten away from because, you know, we're in the torture program.
I'm not laughing at
We're
you.
in this
I'm
debt
not laughing
debt
at anybody.
we're in this
It's
debt
just
slave program.
oh. Well, basically to wrap up, nobody needs 400 billion or trillion dollars. Like there's no
No,
reason, no need for that
no,
at
unless they're
all
going to do good
whatsoever.
with it, but it's not. They're not doing good with it.
Exactly.
They're taking it from
No.
us. They're taking it from we the slaves.
Do you know how many places they could create to house homeless people or homeless children or there there's so many things that could be done with that with that kind of money. Like they could
Absolutely.
pay off our debt. People could go to school without being afraid of their monthly payments like me. 80, $90,000 in student loan debt.
Yep. All by
Maybe even
design.
more.
It's all by
And
design because
then
these people are greedy.
greed can only take you so far. I they've got to be bored with their life because of all the money and they can do anything. Like there's nothing they can't do. Like how can that make somebody happy? I don't know. If you
They're
have any ideas on how it's possible for somebody to spend $400 trillion instead of helping the world, let us know because I'm very upset about that. I don't like learning all this stuff. Can I go put my head back in the sand, please?
yes, I know. I'm sorry.
I'm not laughing at you.
But I know it takes you a minute and it's very disheartening. I understand. But we can't stay silent anymore. We're going to have to take action and do something to remove ourselves from this circus. Not my circus, not my monkeys, and this parallel universe that we're living in, one of truly free Americans and one of debt enslaved Americans. So when they talk about parallel universes, we're in that, and I removed myself from it because I'm like, even though you never take your eye off of the enemy. So I always keep myself up on current events because you always want to watch what these MFers are doing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I don't. I'll just depend on you to tell me.
What's going on in the world
I
today?
what's going it's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
Yeah.
She's like she told me to or wanted me to watch something and she's like, "Yeah, it's the Iran Iraq that, you know, the world's falling apart. And I'm like, do I want to know? I'm like, because I don't even look at it. She's like, no, you don't want to know. Just know people are assholes or something like that. I can't remember. But I'd rather. I know it's. I know. Makes me look ignorant, but I just
It's not.
whatever.
I,
Anyway,
I don't think
I'm.
it's ignorance. I think it's you have a soul. These other people are soulless. They don't have a soul, and you have a very sparkly, you know, pink, bright soul, and keep it that way. Yeah, love
Love
you.
you. All right. Thanks, everybody. If there's anything you want us to talk about, or send articles or videos or, you know, things that are interesting. We
Yeah,
like to watch things that are interesting. And maybe we'll talk about it. We will see you next Tuesday. Oh, keep an eye out. Kimberly's got something coming up soon. So keep an eye
yeah.
out. Keep watching. Keep
Stay
liking. Keep
strong.
commenting. Keep sharing.
We got this.
You're, love you. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.